The first question, I have heard that sometimes people are reincarnated in order to repay the debt. But what about the person being repaid? Do they have to be reborn too? That seems unfair. If I die with someone owing me money, can I just forgive it? I don't want to have to come back just to collect some cash. Well, that's a wonderful comment. Somebody owes some money. Certainly, you don't want to come back just to collect some cash, particularly if it's just petty cash. It's millions of dollars. It may be worth it if it's millions of dollars. But if it's just petty cash, say $100, you want to be reborn just to get the $100 back? So, it's a humorous question. I like that kind of question. Yeah. If somebody owes you some cash, and in case he has to be reborn, and do you need to be reborn? Not necessarily, because causality is so intricate. The creditor may just come back to pay your descendants, for example. Say if you are the father of a son, and maybe you have some unfinished business that you haven't cleared up with your son. For example, not just your son, maybe your daughter or some friends that you still owe them money, and you went into the Pure Land, then your debtor pay the descendants. There's so many ways to clear out the debit and credits. Unbelievable. The general ledger can always be balanced, one way or the other. Even in bookkeeping, if you don't have a nominated account, you just create a contra account, a temporarily contra account, and it balances out. So there's so many ways to get even. You don't really have to come back again to collect it. But even if you say, somebody owed me a lot of cash, say millions of dollars in business, and it happened that I died, and I have a promissory note that he had to repay me, but that promissory note, I forgot to put it into my estate. Nobody knows about it. I have it, but I misplaced it, and he has it. He knows that I passed away, but he does not want to produce the promissory note, so he owes me millions of dollars. Then, if that person who died went to the Pure Land, you think you can get away with it? You own some people with a promissory note of millions of dollars, you can't get away with it. You have to repay it some way or the other. So do not involve any debt. You really have to repay. There was a true story. There was a donkey. A donkey was born. That happened in the Qing dynasty. I read it in true stories of the past about Buddhism. In the Qing dynasty, there was in a village, there was a farmer. He had a donkey. And the donkey was, of course, working for him, carrying all these goods, to the fields, to the rice fields and back home, and doing all kinds of jobs for him. And one day, the donkey was carrying piles and piles of rice field stuff. And the donkey refused to walk. So the farmer was hitting the donkey hard. Now, how come the donkey was working every day and now the donkey refused to work? And suddenly the donkey uttered human language. I only owe you 2 more tails. And I don't want to move. I only owe you 2 more tails. So the farmer was intelligent, but he was scared. How come the donkey could speak like human? So he was a Buddhist, and he believed that, maybe he's repaying a debt. So he unloaded all this rice stuff onto the road. It becomes lighter, very light. Then the donkey carried the load home. and the next day the donkey died, naturally. So the donkey was working in his farm to repay all his debts that he owed the farmer in his previous life. So do not owe any debt. You really have to come back to pay for it. Now, in case you owe some people debt, and that person passed away, donate it to charity, because you cannot get away with it. Not just in monetary terms. You owe some people money, but how about in passion terms, in emotion terms, in your responsibility, in your fidelity, in your loyalty? If your husband treated you with loyalty, and you are not, what happened is, in the next life, he's going to get even with you. He will be committing adultery. He will be divorcing you. So that's the reason why there's so many irregularities in life. Why do we come together? Brothers and sisters and husband and wives, fathers, all these relationships, because all these people have unfinished businesses in the previous lives. And there was the most venerable monk, and his name is Yin Guang Fa Si. And in one of his letters, he tried to analyze and classify the kind of debts emotionally, monetary and emotional debt. And he classified all these debts, unfinished business, among all these family members into 4 categories. What are these 4 categories? The first one, I have to say in Chinese first and translate it in my little gimmick in my brain. I have to go through the translation process. 報恩報怨償債還債. Number 1 is 報恩. That person is coming back to repay you emotionally. He treated you with the most filial piety. You are the mom, you are the father. He's the son, he's the daughter. And the son and daughter treated you so nice. He's coming to repay you through filial piety, whatever you want. They treat you with the most respect because they're coming not to get you. They're coming to repay you, to give it back to you, to treat you very nicely. You go, this is 報恩, because you treated him really nice in previous lives. And he didn't forget about it. He rendered you with the most filial piety. He treated you with the best treatment.報恩. 報怨 is just the opposite. He's coming back to get you. Because why? Because you didn't treat him well in previous lives. He came back as your son, as a daughter. He spent all your money. He becomes so restless, and he becomes so antagonistic to you. And he couldn't study, he didn't go to university, he was fooling around, he pulled down your reputation, he get you all kinds of mental afflictions, you get angry with him. He's coming back not to repay you. He's coming back to pull you down. And sometimes he's coming back, for example, in some history, the children pull down the parents by doing bad deeds. In China, in the ancient times, if one member of the family performed bad deeds, you can pull down the whole family. The whole family had to be executed because of one member of the family did some wrong thing. So he could be coming back as a very vicious person, committing a lot of forgery, committing a lot of crimes, which resulted in the whole family being persecuted, being executed by the king. He pulled down the whole family. Or he became a criminal so that everybody knows that your family has a criminal. You can't live with it. You become so grief-stricken. You don't want to live because your children pull you down. 償債 is coming back to repay you. He's coming back, your children is coming back to repay you because you pay him so much in previous lives. He's giving you all the money. He's giving you millions of dollars, but he may not have filial piety towards you. He just supply you with the money. He call you up, Mom, Dad, do you have any money to spend? I'm going to buy you a house so that you can live in a good mansion. but he's not going to show up to express love to you. He just give you the money because he owe you the money only, not love. The same happens with husband and wife. Some wives never get to see their husbands because their husbands are so busy, but the husbands keep on supplying the wife with money because he only owes the wife money in previous lives, not emotions, not loyalty, not fidelity. So all this is the intricacies. And there's another one is He's coming not to repay you. He's coming to get it back from you. Get back the money from you. So it's either monetary or emotions. Of course, these are the extremes, and there's always the balance cases where a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it balances out. So when you come to think of it, husband and wife, father and son, daughter and mom, they all have this unfinished business that they come together. And they carry on life after life and life after life. So what am I talking about? When you're coming back to, you don't want to come back to get the repayment, sure, you don't have to come back. I guess that answers the question. I don't want to go on with just one question. So, if you encounter problems like that, if you have a son or a daughter who's unfilial to you, do not get sad and sorrowful because you treated him the same way. You just act as if you are repaying him. Emotionally or monetarily, you're repaying him. You don't get very angry, you don't get very sorrowful, you just take life as it is. That's the attitude. You tolerate it. So that's why in the 6 parameters, there's one called tolerance or endurances. There's a lot of things in this world you have to tolerate, you have to endure, to give out, always giving out. Don't owe anybody debt, always give out. The more you give out, the better you get in return. Like in the lunch. If you always depend on somebody else to donate the lunch to you, you're hurting your own karma. Always give out. Don't depend on relief. Don't depend on unemployment insurance. You're taking a holiday in Hawaii, whereas you're getting unemployment insurance and you're getting relief from the government. That's not the way to go. Use your own efforts to earn the money. Don't just depend on other people's donation for you. You give out. The more you give out, the more you get in return. You don't attach to the return to give out, but the return will come. Manifold return. What are parameters? Parameter is to take you from this shore of sorrow, of suffering to that shore of nirvana. When you go to that shore, you need these 6 parameters to take you on that shore of enlightenment. Giving, morality standard, endurances, meditation, wisdom, and diligence. You need diligence, hard working to work out. So, there's a lot in the Buddhist teaching that we have to learn. You see, the Buddhist belief is not just blind faith. It's logic. It's wisdom. The Buddhist literature is probably the most resourceful literature in the civilization of humans. It contains the most canons, the most literature, the most written writings in different languages. One live up to 100 years cannot attempt to finish the whole Tripitaka in one's lifetime. So it's so much in the wisdom of the Buddha, in the Tripitaka, in the Sutra, the Abhidharma, and the Vinaya. Just like an ocean, it's boundless. But you don't have to read everything. To get the taste of the ocean, you don't need to drink up the whole ocean. You scoop up some water, you taste it, and you know how the ocean tastes like. You don't have to drink it all. It's impractical to drink it all. But one cup of it, and taste it really well, that's the ocean. That's the real ocean. You don't have to swallow up the whole ocean to know about it. So that's why sometimes a sutra can get you to enlightenment. Just one practice of meditation can get you to enlightenment. Time is running out. You're running with time. We're always running. What are we running for? We're always running for reputation, for money, for wealth, for egoistic satisfaction. We're running for those things. But those things do not liberate us. Those things bond us. What do you mean in the meditation by living at the present moment? What do we mean by living at the present moment? Why do we live at the present moment? What is the present? What is the whole world made up of? The whole world has two dimensions. One is time, and the other is what? Space. We live in time and space. We live within time and space. What is this time? Time, again, has three parameters: the past, the present, and the future. The past, the present, and the future. What's the past? The past is already gone. Why do we have to attach to the regrets of the past, to the bad deeds of the past? Why do we have to do this? Because we have bad experiences. We experienced something bad in the past. We regret about it. We're disappointed about it. So we attach to the past. And how about the future? We attach to the future. We attach to the future aspirations. We worry about the future. We have fears about the future. So we attach to the past and the future. And that imprisons us in our mentality. We're not free. That's why we have worries, jealousy, hatred, anxiety, depression, fear. We have all kinds of these mental afflictions that bound us in our prison ego. We're not free. Our mentality is not emancipated. It's all being bound in that past and present. The present is, I haven't talked about the present. The past and the future. We are bound in the past and the future. We don't have to though, because the past is gone. You can't get it back. How about the future? The future hasn't come. Why worry about it? But we still do. We still worry, no matter what you say, how you react. When you're not in meditation, when you don't have prajna, when you don't have wisdom, you attach to both the past and the present. Even a monk like me, even high-level monks, when they are not in meditation, they always attach to the past and to the future. So, other than the past and future, what do we got left with? What do we have left with? The present. And life is only available at the present moment. How can life be available to you in the past? It's gone. How can life be available to you in the future? It hasn't come. So what is life? What is this life that you and I have? It's the present. Life is only available at the present moment. Here and now and at the present. So that's why we're meditating. When you're meditating, we have breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Why did the Buddha teach us to say breath in and breath out, breathe in and breathe out? The Buddha is introducing a technique for us to realize the present, the importance of the present moment. So when you breathe in, you concentrate on the breath in, anapanasati, anapana, anapana, in and out. By concentrating in your in and out breath, and you think that this in and out breath is joy and wonder. Why is your in and out breath joy and wonder? Look at everything around us. Everything is a wonder if you analyze it. The sound of a bird, a flower, the flow of a stream, a mountain, the clouds, the sun, the rain. Nothing is not a wonder. Because how does it work? It works on causality. It works so wonderfully that it creates the whole universe. So everything is a wonder. Even the disturbance of the sound from a car, the yelling of a human voice, the mowing of a lawn, it all is wonder surrounding you. Because all these wonders, based on causality, it works out for them. A tree, how did the sap of a tree goes up to the top? How did the trees grow to the top? How did the soil get nutrition? How did the cycle of spring, summer, autumn, winter comes? And how come that when a tree, when an azalea or when a rhododendron in the autumn time shuts down its leaves and the leaves go back to the soil to nourish the soil, get the nutrients, and it comes back again to the branch, to the trunk. All this is wonder. And how come you don't realize this wonder? This is the outside wonder surrounding us. Everything surrounding us is wonder. Everything surrounding us is right now at peace, but we don't know about it until you really pay attention to it. And that's the magic. The Buddha teaches us a method how to pay attention to the wonders of everything surrounding you. And that's through the breath. So everything surrounding you is a wonder. And you have to recognize that wonder. And that wonder is at peace right now, at this moment. That's everything surrounding us. How about everything inside us? Everything inside us is also a wonder. Everything about our body, the 5 skandhas, is a wonder. You close your eyes, you open your eyes again, you see flowers, you see everybody, you see the color, your ears listen to sound, the dripping of a stream, the beautiful sound of a bird, of music. Your ear is a wonder. Your nose is a wonder. Your touch is a wonder. Do you recognize the wonder inside of us? How does the heart work? The heart palpitates and get all the blood circulations. Is it wonderful? Your heart. Your heart is a wonder. And you don't recognize that. So the Buddha said, come back home. Get a homecoming of all the wonders in you. Get a homecoming of recognizing all the wonders surrounding you. So the Buddha said, first of all, get your mind home. Stop running for materialistic needs. Get your mind home, at peace. You'll find that the peace right here when you breathe in, when you breathe out, you say, I am peaceful. I'm breathing in, I'm at peace. It's wonder, I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out, I'm at peace. It's wonder breathing out. It's wonderful. It's at peace. No more past. The past is gone. You're not going to be disturbed by the worries of the future. You're not going to be disturbed by the aspiration of the future. No planning. The future hasn't come. You're not going to have regrets about the past because it's gone. So we're living right at the present moment. The joy, the wonder at the present moment. For that half an hour of meditation, you only have to breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. That train that you are realizing the dimensions of the universe, the time frame, the present most wonderful, peaceful moment now is at the present. And you're realizing also the space of all the wonders surrounding you, the space of your body in here right now. So you're realizing both time and space, all wonderful. And if you keep that length of time of half an hour of peace, of breathe in and breathe out, if that peace and wonder extends for another half hour, it becomes 1 hour, it extends for 1.5 hours, it extends for 2 hours, and finally extends for 6, 7 hours, then what happened? What happened? What happened if the wonders of that peace and joy extends from half an hour to 1 hour to 2 hours to 3 hours in your meditation? Another wonder comes. You know what that wonder is? Enlightenment, nirvana, samya sambuddhaya, taragataya. That is also the reality, the absolute ultimate reality, realized by the Buddha, by the Bodhisattva. Another wonders fit in only if you're at peace, only if you're liberated from your bondage of mental afflictions. If you don't even have that half an hour of freedom, how can you be enlightened? How can you get to the wonder of nirvana? You never can. But that door is always open for you. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to look for it from the Buddha. It's right here at the present moment, now, here and now. Nobody else, nowhere else. It's right here. That's what we mean by living at the present moment. Do you like to live at the present moment, or you always want to live in the past? Do you like to live in the past? Thinking of the past bad experiences, all your regrets, all those people who have done you the wrong deeds that you want to revenge, all the jealousy that you have created, the depressions that result from it, or you want to attach to the plans of the future. I want to aspire to be a multimillionaire. I want to be better than all my friends. I want to get a mansion in Sanssouci. I want to get a Vivari in no time. I want everybody to respect me for my wealth, for my status. Do you want to get that? It hasn't come yet. And worse still, I want to use all kinds of methods to get what I want. You involve in crime, in forgery, in bad consequences. You get into more and more like a quicksand. You get into more and more trouble. You're creating all these karmic forces that pull you down until the bottom of the quicksand. You never come out again. So the Buddha said, get back to the present through meditation, anapanasati. Breathe in and breathe out. Some people say, is it that simple? Meditation? Breathing in and breathing out? It's so simple, but it's so difficult. A 6-year-old knows about in and out, but a 90-year-old practitioner has not succeeded in doing it for his whole lifetime. You know why? Because they always cling to the past and clings to the future. He's not living at the present moment where he has peace and joy. And that peace and joy is not just a statement, it's not just a notion, it's not just a conceptualization, it's a direct contact with reality. You know that. Some people believe in God, only believe in the conception of God. In that statement, in that notion, I believe in God. He only has that statement. He has no direct contact with what is behind the statement. I hope you understand what I mean. We only have a concept, not the real direct touch. So if you say, anapanasati, breathe in and breathe out, if you only have that statement, breathe in and breathe out, you only have that statement. You don't have the essence behind the statement. Do you have the joy? I don't have the joy. I don't have the wonder, but I still breathe in and breathe out. So you only have that conceptualization. You don't have the direct touch to the reality of joy and wonder. I don't know if you know about it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It takes time. So when you have that peace and joy, no money can buy it. If some people say, oh, you are the practitioner of meditation or anapanasati, and you have that joy, that rapture of joy, can I buy it from you? No, you can't buy it. Because only the practitioner knows. It's not quantifiable. It's a direct contact. Some people say, I don't want to get into Buddhahood, that means I have to die. I have to get into nirvana. Because you don't know it. If I become the Buddha, will I be sitting up in the shrine like a wood? Upstairs? Some teenagers say, Mom, I don't want to be a Buddha. I don't want to get into that shrine and sitting in there and people worshiping on me. I'm a piece of wood. So there was a monk who said, when we make a Buddha statue, we carve it out from wood, we carve it out from stone. We make it as exquisite as possible, as gracious looking as possible. Go leave it. But If you really think that the Buddha looks like that, we'll all laugh. We will die with laughter. The Buddha does not look like the wood. That's just a manifestation. That's just a conceptualization. But we need the conceptualization, do we? If we don't have the conceptualizations, how can we think? But when you know the conceptualization, you have to get rid of it. No conceptualization. You need the conceptualization, but finally, you don't need it. If you think that Buddhism is just a conceptualization, you're wrong. You haven't got it. What is called Buddhism is not Buddhism. That's why it's called Buddhism.